Hey guys, so this is a quick video just going through the lesson which is on the power of language. So you'll see it at the bottom of the classwork. So if you see classwork here, it's right down at the bottom. And again, nothing for marks for this part. This is purely just to kind of take you through the next step of the course that we would have done together. So you'll see here there's two things to look at. The first are the notes. So as you go through the PowerPoint, you can fill this in. The feedback I'm getting from the Google survey and also from emails is less is better from you guys right now. You're not looking for extra work. So far, I've received 0 of the optional unit tests, and that's fine. Okay, I get it. But you know, filling this in again is good practice. I find when I'm trying to take something in, writing down notes is my most effective way of learning things. If I read through something, I'll just skim read and lose concentration and think about something else that's maybe more exciting, and then before I know it, I've not taken any of it in. So making notes on this, whether you print this out and write it by hand or type it in, I do find would be the most effective way of doing this. Okay, so you can go through that as you go through the PowerPoint and fill that out. I'm not going to check this though. If you don't fill this out, I won't be calling you. I won't be, you don't lose marks because it's not for marks. It is really up to you whether you do that or not. Okay, so let's go to the PowerPoint itself, and I'll just talk you through briefly what's in it. Obviously, in the time I've got with you guys right now, I can't do a lesson. So we talked about socialization in the previous unit. This unit is all about communication and what defines us as human beings. So it's the logical progression from the previous unit. We looked at socialization and kind of how we act as humans in groups. Now we're looking at kind of the definition of humans by our language. There's a little activity, optional, don't have to hand it in. I don't think there's really a place for you to hand it in, but you can attach it to your notes if you want to. This was a really fun thing I did last year. Again, it's not so fun when you're doing it on your own. Write a paragraph using just emoticons. I can't even say it properly because I'm not that cool. But basically those things you use on your phone, the smiley faces and so on. Could you do a paragraph? And then when we did it in class last year, people had to try and understand what that paragraph meant with a series of smiley faces and different emoticons. Okay. Then we go into the information. So how do humans learn to speak? So we talk about the idea of evolution, how the brain grew, how the voice box developed with the process of evolution, what makes us be able to speak. So the part of the brain called the Broca's area, which is significantly more developed than other primates, which is why we talk and chimpanzees and gorillas don't. So there you go. There's a little picture there. There's a picture of the human anatomy you can take notes of. So there's a comparison here. So with monkeys, gorillas, things like that, there's non-human communication. They make grunts, they gesture, but they don't have the sentence structure, the paragraphs that we have. So there's two origins of language. So firstly, social grooming by Robin Dunbar. So you can read that, of that theory. And the idea is that language came because it made us grow closer. It was like a mechanism to make us become closer to the people we were interacting with. It made it easier for us to survive, get closer bonds. And the other one is by a guy called Merlin Donald. And it comes from a psychological perspective. And words were used for humans to recall old ideas and past events. So it's really a communication thing. When you look at the cavemen and the paintings, it's that idea of communicating needs and wants and dangers and things like that. So there's two ideas of how language developed. There's a video here. It's a really cool video. It's a TED Talk about sort of the history of the world, and communication is a little part of that. I used to skip that, probably show about 5 minutes. It's 20 minutes in total. I don't expect you to watch it if you don't want to. It is a good video though, so if you've got 20 minutes, by all means watch it. Then some definitions of what language is, how some social scientists say that we learn language. So the Pavlov we looked at a couple of units ago, his ideas, Skinner, Noam Chomsky, he's still around, he's about 100 years old now, but his ideas on universal language, that language is a universal thing, that we all have certain things we share around the world. I'm just trying to think. So this is going to end in 20 seconds. I'll probably put up a second video, but yeah, we'll do a second video.